What is up, everybody? This is Durbania Live. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining and clicking on this video and checking it out. So this is part of a science experiment for Durbania. I have never done a theological analysis live. I've done the Ask You Anythings and all that stuff, but this is the first time I've actually done an analysis of a movie live. So what I'll do in this video is I'll do a brief review of the movie. I'll dive into the theological analysis part of it. And then I definitely want to leave that open to you to come and join me in that. So those of you who are in here right now, once again, thank you for being a part of this science experiment. What is up, Damian Scott? Am I saying your name right? There's a C in there. Dude, I'm so glad you're always here. Thank you so much for joining me. Tina Ann, hello. How are you doing? So glad to have you. So once again, this is a science experiment. Going to do the theological analysis part live, and then let's talk about this movie together. I'm just curious to see how you guys will respond to doing this live and, how much fun this is, because maybe this means I'll do more theological analyses live. So I'm using the movie Scoob because I thought this movie was kind of a completely average movie, which I think works fine for a whole experiment that I'm doing here. It is raining is it raining where you live? No, it's not raining where I live. It's a little cloudy and very humid. It feels like it ought to be raining soon, but I don't know. There's too much blue sky. Is it raining where you live? I'm assuming it is since you're asking me. So the movie Scoob, is it good? Was it ever big screen worthy? And is it worth your time to check out? I'm going to give the movie a C+. It just was totally average because honestly, yes, I was entertained while I was watching Scoob. I thought some of the humor worked, but it just wasn't like a tremendously great movie. And no, it was not big screen worthy. I was planning to skip that movie altogether on the big screen. And I'm happy that it went straight to VOD. And I just kind of feel like movies like this should never be on the big screen. So as straight to VOD, Tina Ann, it's about to hear Friday night. I poured and I got about 2 inches of water in my basement. Gosh, that stinks, Tina. I'm glad I live in California where it doesn't rain as much. But Scoob, like, I don't know. It's definitely an average movie. I mean, it's weird that this is like the first Scooby-Doo movie we've had in a long time, and they separate Scooby and Shaggy from the team. Like, that's weird. Why would you do that? So the majority of the movie is they're separated from the team. And then, like, something that's kind of fun is all the Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters that are in it. I like the animation, and yeah, it's okay. Nothing special. Yes, it is nothing special. It's fun, and this is spoilers, by the way. So spoilers will be dropped in this video. That can't be said enough. It's in the thumbnail. Spoilers, spoiler talk. The fact that Captain Caveman is in here, Falcon and Dynamite, Dick Dastardly as the main villain, and Muttley. Like, it's fun. Like, to take those Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters and to throw them into this movie, and the way they use them in this movie, that was fun. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. Again, not big screen worthy. This should never have been something that was going to open on the big screen. And if they ever make a sequel, that shouldn't open on the big screen. Now, if you have kids and you want a fun family movie night, yeah, it's clean, it's fun, and I think it's entertaining enough that you, the grown-up, while you're at home. So it doesn't matter how bored you are. You can get on your phone and do something else, and nobody's going to yell at you while your kid can watch and be entertained. So yes, as a family fun movie night, this could be something worth your time to watch. Definitely not worth any effort or trip to go see it on the big screen. Now, for the theological part, this part was it's weird because it's like they went too far with this movie, and at the same time, like, it was interesting what they did with it. Because where it goes too far is when you look at Scooby-Doo. Hello, Falcon B, what's up? When you look at Scooby-Doo, what is it? It's a haunted house, but it's not haunted. You pull the mask off somebody. So they're always debunking the supernatural aspect of it, which is fine because it's a simple plot with a simple story. And I get it's a movie, so you have to go a little bit more complex. But the fact that this one went full on supernatural and Scooby-Doo is the descendant of Alexander the Great's dog, and as such, in his bloodline was the key to open the gates of Hades. And then Cerberus, the three-headed dog, could get out. I don't know. Like, to me, I'm looking at that and I'm going, that's not Scooby-Doo. You're supposed to debunk this. You're supposed to pull the mask off somebody at the end, and this is supposed to be a whole lot more simple than it actually is. And so I'm watching it like that. That's just kind of weird. But the part that was interesting about it is it, for me, ended up becoming this illustration of what Jesus said in John 15:13. I think it's John 15:13. It's in John 15 where Jesus says, Greater love has no one than this, to lay his life down for his friends. And Jesus called us his friends. And so what did Jesus do? He showed his friendship to us. He chose us to be his friends, and then he died for us. He went to Hades. He went to hell for us so we don't have to go to hell, and rose from the dead 3 days later. He demonstrated his friendship to us and demonstrated his great love for us by dying for us. And somehow, Scoob, for its shallowness and odd depthness, ended up being an interesting picture of John 15:13, because you have Scoob and Shaggy who are best friends. And the picture here is greater love has no one than this, but to lay his life down for his friends. Through a series of events, we find ourselves at the end, literally at the gates of hell, almost right here at the gates of Hades. And the only way to shut Cerebus the dog in there and to lock the gates is to either have Scooby or Shaggy in Hades and the other one outside of Hades, and that will lock the door. And so Shaggy lays his life down for Scooby and goes to Hades so Scooby doesn't have to go to Hades. Then, miraculously, is sent back from Hades into the land of the living. So he laid his life down and took his life back, but he laid his life down to save Scooby. Patrick Warren, my daughter accidentally purchased this from Amazon. I had no idea and paid no attention until I heard some innuendo. When I heard it said, turn that off, luckily I got a refund. Well, that's good. Remind me what innuendo that is, because I think they may have had a couple of innuendos in there, but I don't really remember off the top of my head. It's probably because I was only, at some point while watching the movie, it's only about 50% paying attention. And honestly, I rented it because, no, I bought it because it was only $5 more than renting it. I wish I just rented it because I'm not going to go back and watch that movie again. I'm kind of sad that I spent the extra $5 and bought this movie. But okay, so Shaggy goes to Hades and he comes back and saves Scooby. In that way, to me, it's a picture of what Jesus said. Hello, Dawson's Universe. How you doing? And so I thought that was a cool picture of laying one's life down for his friends. It also has this great message about friendship, because true friendship doesn't die no matter what changes. You see, Shaggy kind of had this insecurity. And in his insecurity, like he thought he'd never belong because he's a loner as a kid. And when he found Scoob, he found belonging. He found belonging in that friendship with that best friend. And then it turns out Scooby was this descendant of Alexander the Great dog, which made Scooby special inside. And Shaggy was starting to feel jealous and insecure because he didn't have that specialness inside. And I thought it was actually kind of a good scene when Scooby was getting the superhero suit like painted on him, but they had to stop and remove the collar that Scooby promised he would never remove. And I thought that was kind of a cool moment in the movie because, again, it shows, yeah, they made these promises when they were young and now things are changing. And it's striking that chord of insecurity in Shaggy because his friendship with Scooby is that place where he belonged. And we already had Simon Cowell at the beginning of this going to invest in Mystery Inc. as a business, saying, I won't invest as long as Shaggy and Scooby are part of it. So, like, you know, he's saying friendship isn't enough to make a business run, and friendship isn't enough to save the day. And so Shaggy held firm that, yes, friendship is enough. And now that things are changing, he's feeling the insecurity that maybe friendship isn't enough. But see, that's the thing about friendship, right? Did Shaggy ever value Scooby-Doo because he was a descendant of Alexander the Great's dog? No, Shaggy never knew that. He valued Scoob for who Scooby was. He valued him by choosing him as a friend, and Scooby chose Shaggy as a friend. And when you look at this theological picture, Jesus calls us friends. He chose us. We did not choose him. So we don't have to have this intrinsic worth in order to be chosen by him because we already are chosen by him. Sometimes we get insecure because we're looking for deep meaning in our lives and so many things. But we have to remember in Romans 5, it says, even when we were at our worst, Christ died for us. It was in that way that he demonstrated his love for us, that even at our worst. So I thought that was kind of a cool concept. The way Shaggy realized, you know, Scooby's allowed to grow up and change. And if I try to hold him prisoner to the past, then I'm not a good friend at all. So allowing Scooby to grow and change and be part of other things as well is not destroying the friendship. It's allowing the friendship to change and to grow and to mature, because that's real life, isn't it? Things grow, change, and mature. And when we try to hold on to that past, well, then we're holding on to something that is already gone. But when we let that change come in and we just, say, no, I'm friends forever. Shaggy held on to that promise that he would be Scooby's friend forever. So no matter how much that friendship changed and no matter what was going on in this movie, Shaggy was ready to lay his life down for Scooby because he didn't let go of the friendship, but he allowed Scooby to change finally and killed that jealousy. And it was that jealousy that separated Scooby and Shaggy and got them in kind of the trouble they were in at the end. And finally, Shaggy swallowed that pride, let go of his jealousies and insecurities, and realized it didn't matter if Scoob is doing that over there. We're still best buds. And so to me, I like that message of the movie. And that's what keeps this movie from hitting D or F or anything like that. I like the message of friendship that was in this movie. And I liked how this movie illustrated John 15:13, greater love is no one than this, but to lay his life down for his friends. So those are my thoughts on this movie. What are yours? Tina Ann says, I love Shaggy and Scooby's friendship. They are both so unique, but they found each other, found love and acceptance. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, and it's that same kind of found love and acceptance between us and God. Like I said, he chose us. We did not choose him. That's where our acceptance is. It's in Jesus because he has placed that value on us. Whether we feel like we deserved it or not, who cares? He placed that value on us. Let's see here. Demanian Scott says, I always remembered what's new Scooby-Doo on Cartoon Network and it's on Netflix now. Might revisit it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was always kind of I like Scooby-Doo and I like the old cartoon. I never watched it a ton. Did you guys watch the old cartoon a ton? And I'm just curious, any more thoughts on this movie and how did you feel? Is it worth the $25 or just wait to rent? It's not worth the $25. No, Falcon B. It definitely is not. I would wait until you could rent it for like $3.99 or until it pops up on a different streaming service. That's honestly, that is exactly what I would do. So yeah, I kind of regret the fact that I paid the $5 extra to own it because I will never really go back in and watch it again. So anybody else have any thoughts on this movie or anything you want to ask me? So just tossing that out there since we're live, we're hanging out with each other. What are your thoughts about the movie Scoob? Did you find it worth checking out this weekend? Was it worth waiting for and all of that? So let me know your thoughts on that right now. Like I said, the best part for me, the idea of that friendship. What for it on your stream? Wait for it on your streaming service. That is exactly what I do, is wait for it on your streaming service. It will probably go to HBO Max. Okay, Falcon B, if that's true, wait for it to go to HBO Max so you're not paying anything extra to watch it. I mean, it's entertaining enough in its own right. It really it is, but like the ending was stupid because you get to the ending and the whole gimmick of Scooby-Doo is you pull the mask off, and so you have Dick Dastardly at the end. They pull the mask off, and it was Simon Cowell the whole time. But it was a double mask. You pull off the Simon Cowell mask, and it was Dick Dastardly. It was kind of dumb. So it's just like, why? What was that joke for? I mean, Scooby-Doo is simple, and here we have Scooby now as a great descendant of the dog of Alexander the Great. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So probably no, not worth your time to check out. And there's not a whole lot of meat to dig into in this movie when you get into it. So I was just kind of amazed at that picture of Shaggy laying his life down for Scooby, going to Hades on Scooby's behalf so Scooby can continue on in the land of the living. And then miraculously, Shaggy returns. So anybody else have, it doesn't look like there's too many other thoughts on this movie. Did not expect that there should be. But anyway, any questions that you have for me personally? Now that we're here, now that we're hanging out, what do you want to ask me? I enjoy these live experiences. I enjoy these times to come in and hang out with you. Anything you want to throw out there for me? How you doing, Laura?
I'm watching.
I know you're watching. I don't know what else to do. How are you doing?
Good.
All right. Laura's doing a good. She's over there. She's, working to catch your comments in case I miss anything. How's your wife doing?
Good.
Yeah, she's doing good. She's an essential employee. So she's had work this entire time. And I've been working for my church this entire time. So we've both been extremely busy. I got my coffee, my iced coffee, so I'm happy. All right.
McDonald's advertisement.
I did not mean to advertise McDonald's. Okay, anyway. Well, that's all I got on this movie. I was just kind of seeing, what were your guys' feelings on this movie? If you had anything else you wanted to talk about and dig into, have you been watching the Mandalorian documentary on Disney Plus? I watched the first 2 episodes. I forgot that the 3rd episode is up. So I need to go do that. I am enjoying that documentary. I thought the first two episodes were really cool. It's very cool to see the behind the scenes of the Mandalorian. So I had a lot of fun with that. The roundtable of the directors was really, really cool. Do you like coffee or hot chocolate? Coffee. Well, I like both, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm always going to pick coffee. Coffee is, awesome. The socially acceptable addiction. So anyway, I do enjoy coffee. But yeah, that Mandalorian documentary on Disney Plus has been a lot of fun, and I need to go and check out the other episodes. I kind of forgot about it. So I might actually, as soon as I get off here, go sit down and do that. So yeah. Well, let's see here. EJ Miguel. Hey, Durbania, what is your favorite Scooby-Doo movie? The ones that are animated. Also, I haven't seen Scoob and I really want to, but the reviews are a bit a mixed bag. Honestly, EJ, I don't think I have a favorite Scooby-Doo animated movie. I used to watch the Scooby-Doo cartoon and it was fine. Like I enjoyed it. This movie, Scoob, it's not great. It really isn't. It's not horrible. Like if you watched it, you wouldn't find it the worst thing ever. Is it worth $25? I don't think so. Falcon B, what are your thoughts on Pike Star Trek show coming soon? Well, I have not been watching Star Trek Discovery. So to really, I guess, answer that best, I definitely would need to watch Star Trek Discovery. But I have been enjoying like, Picard and stuff. So yeah, I think I'd be curious to see what they would do with Captain Christopher Pike to learn a little bit more about that character. So I'm definitely interested. So I need to go back and watch Star Trek Voyager. So Scott says, what are we guess what? We are getting a brand new Superman and Lois series and more on the CW. Yes. And I also heard on the CW, they're pushing everything back until the year 2021. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, we have to wait until the year 2021 to see all of that stuff. I am looking forward to Superman and Lois. I hope that's good. Patrick Warren, all I can say is it was said by Dynamite when the team was meeting him in Blue Falcon. It was right at the transition to the next scene.
The innuendo.
Oh, the innuendo.
Yeah.
Got it. I don't own it, so I can't find it. That's okay. I'll go back and recheck that out. I honestly don't remember it. And you got kids, so good for you that you caught it. And that was a good contribution you made to this because, you know, parents are concerned about that. So thank you so much for pointing that out. And I'm sure somebody will catch that comment and check that out for themselves now. So thank you so much for that, Patrick. Tina Ann, what movie are you most looking forward to seeing in the theater when you can and it's safe to? At this point, probably Wonder Woman is the one I am most excited about seeing. Number one, I'm a major DC fan, so I'm just incredibly curious what Wonder Woman is going to do. Like, are they going to, since it's in the past, are they going to lay the groundwork for a soft reboot? Or are they going to give us more background to the DCEU that presently exists? So I'm very curious about what they're going to do with it. Plus, I love the first Wonder Woman. So I think that's probably the one I am the most excited about. I am excited about Black Widow, but again, I have that thought in my head where it's like, yay, the first film of Phase 4 is a prequel somewhere in Phase 3. So I don't know. I'm also looking forward to once Phase 4 gets rolling of the MCU. So things like that, I'm excited to see those things rolling, and then excited to see their connection to the shows in Disney Plus. There was always Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Yeah, I never saw that one. Let's see. Voltron or Power Rangers? It's got to be Power Rangers. I didn't watch a lot of Voltron. I remember seeing it here and there, but I was a fan of Power Rangers to an embarrassing extent when I was a kid. Falcon B, what are your thoughts on the G.I. Joe movies? I don't like them. I don't hate them, but to me, they're so forgettable that I don't even remember them right now. Like the first one was so forgettable. I think I saw it once and it's gone out of my head. I think I actually own the second one. I don't know where. I got to go dig that up. But I'm not a fan of them, and I think they're making a third one, and it just does. I don't care. Damian Scott, did you hear New Mutants is coming this summer? I hope so. That's all I can say. I have not heard that, but how many years now have we heard it's coming and being canceled, coming and being canceled? I really want to see New Mutants, and I hope it's really good. So they either need to pop it up on the big screen or release it on Disney Plus or Hulu, whichever one of those two they want to put it on, because I really want to see New Mutants. Really, really bad. Anything I'm missing, Laura? See any other questions?
Did you guess what? We're getting a brand new Superman Superman and Lois series on?
Yes, I did. They're all coming in the year 2021 now. All those CW shows, they're all pushed back, which is sad. But what a weird time that we live in. So,
But there's Superman and Lois.
yes, I know. I'm looking forward to Superman and Lois.
That's it. I don't see any others.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I think I'm going to go ahead and wind this one down. This was a science experiment. I wanted to see, did you think Tenet will keep its release date? I hope so, Falcon B. I work at a movie theater, and that's a July movie. And it opening in July, I work at a one-screen movie theater. It means my movie theater could actually open and have a movie to open with. So I hope it keeps its date. I don't know at this point. I mean, the fact that where I live, all fireworks shows are now canceled, and that's in July. It's like, wow, that's not a good omen now, is it? So we'll see. I hope Tenet keeps its release date. I truly, truly do. Well, thank you all so much. What?
Jamie and I see on ask if you're going to review Back to the Future. I know you've been watching it.
Yeah, that's right. I have, I did a ranking of all the Back to the Future movies. Thank you guys for noticing all these little posts I do. Yes, I have been rewatching Back to the Future. I might do that. So maybe I'll sit down and start mapping that out tomorrow. So we'll see what comes of that. I hadn't thought about that. I was just kind of watching them for the fun of it. But that's a good idea. Maybe I'll go back and actually do legit reviews of Back to the Future. That's a very good idea. Thank you so much for that. Awesome. I'm right. Okay, Laura was doing this, and I'm like, what is she doing? Oh, it's the wrap it up symbol. She's like, this is a good time to wrap it up. And you know what? Happy wife, happy life. They seem to know better about a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you all. I know this is only like 21 minutes, but I've been editing a lot this week, so I just kind of wanted something fun, something live, and something experimental. So what did you guys think of me going live with a theological analysis? Did you find that's something that you would like to see more of? Would you like me to do that more often? Let me know in the comments right now or in the comments after this video is done. Thank you all so much for your questions. Thank you so much for joining me in this. It's a fun little experiment, and I'm glad that I can experiment, and I have such a good community that you guys want to join me in that. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I will catch you all next time. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, and see you around.